Okay. I call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. For the audience here tonight, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and the business being conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I will conduct an oral roll call and request that each commissioner respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Gerber,
Present.
Commissioner Kuyumjian is absent today. Commissioner Chavez,
Present.
Vice Chair Louis Porcher,
Present.
and Chair Burrell.
Present.
So we have 4 members present. Thank you.
Commissioner Gerber, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'll stand up. Put your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda tonight? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. I would now like to open the public comment period and invite members of the public to address the Community Services Commission. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once both on and off agenda items. All questions should be directed through the presiding officer. This is your time to speak uninterrupted. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. If you are participating via Zoom, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, you will receive a request to unmute, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Is there anyone in attendance who would wish to speak?
We have received no public comment cards in the audience tonight, and we did receive 1 email correspondence which I have made available through online on the agenda packet, as well as I have emailed to each of the commissioners. At this moment, there are nobody wishing to speak in Zoom, so we have no public comments.
Okay. We'll close the public comment period and move on to the commissioner statements and reports. Commissioner Chavez, would you like to report?
Yeah, the ribbon cutting for Gladstone Park was this last Saturday. I was able to make that. That's my first one being on board, and the park looked really nice. Colors look really bright. Only thing they were concerned was that summer would be so hot and kids slide down and burn themselves. But other than that, and we're trying to save our grass because of the drought. But other than that, it looked fantastic. So also, Lassie League ended May 7th. They had no closing ceremony parades. They had a movie night in Per Henry, and they said it was okay that 100 people there, which I thought that's still a pretty good turnout for kind of coming back. And I also attended the volunteer recognition dinner with Debbie there, and that was a great turnout. And a lot of the volunteers got recognized, and we took some pictures and served everybody, which is always a fun part. And basketball is resuming again per Annie Warner, right? January 7th and March 4th, and those dates are firm. And so let's see here. That's all I have for now to report.
Thank you, Commissioner Gerber.
I have very little to report other than playing off of what David said, going to the ribbon cutting down at the park. Again, yeah, great presentation of what we've done down there for the kids with a lot of opportunity and fun little exciting things within the park. Look forward to us continuing to be able to do that throughout the city, wherever that opportunity presents itself and exists. And other than that, we do have a couple awards presentations that we'll be doing coming forward. Looking forward to the summer. That's when the city is really out in full force with concerts in the park, movie nights, Camp Kahila, all of the different things that the city provides. So looking forward to being out and in those events and participating as well. So that's it.
Thank you. Vice Chair Louis Porcher.
There are no additional reports or updates.
Thank you. Yeah, I also thought that the playground is amazing and the poured in place like spongy surface is amazing. Poor Kelsey's little boy went down the slide and just like popped right on his butt and he sort of like bounced up and didn't feel it at all. No tears, nothing. So that's how you know it's good. So I'm very much looking forward to that as we get that at some of the other parks because it's awesome. It's very, even as a parent, it's kind of fun to stand on and watch them play around. And that playground is amazing. My kids had the time of their lives on the musical instruments and all of the different stuff. And the big seesaw that like you can fit like 8 people on and rock back and forth. It's a really amazing playground. So that was a lot of fun other than the heat. But that won't be all the time. So it was an amazing playground and a fun event for everyone. That is my only update. So we will now move on to our Director and Staff Liaison and Attorney Statements. I'd like to invite Community Services Director John Aguirre to report.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commission. Yes, the ribbon cutting, I want to give a special thank you to Danielle Smith, who through her hard work in getting the project done, it does look awesome. So that's, more good things to come down there and at Finkbeiner. Older Americans Lunch is next Thursday on May 26th, 11:30 at LaFetra Center. RSVP so far is Brittany and Mallory. David Chavez, do you know if you're going to make it? A week from today. If you can let us know so we can get you on that. Yeah. And then last Saturday after the ribbon cutting, Mayor Pro Tem Boyer, Assistant Manager Moises Lopez and I went on a field trip to Santa Clarita to look at their BMX park and their mountain bike trails. A very nice facility up there. So we'll be coming to our commission in the next few months to do a presentation on the South Hills and how that's going. Tomorrow night, the commission will be presenting the Buck Dunham Award, 6 p.m. Over there at Hope Lutheran. And then we are in our second week of summer registration. This week was our first week of walk-in and our classes are filling up super fast. Very special shout out to Megan and Danielle for all their hard work in the walk-in registration. Phones were ringing off the hook and stuff. And so it's been a long week. Private and semi-private swim started on Tuesday at walk-in only. And the line was started at 7 a.m. We opened the doors at 8. So for the first hour and a half, we were, the line kept going. But we have people coming in constant. We're almost full capacity on that private, semi-private swim. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. That's so exciting that so many, everyone's just so excited for all of the summer classes and stuff. Okay, now I would like to call on Recreation Superintendent Annie Warner to report on the second quarter Shining Star.
It's an honor for the Recreation and Team Divisions to honor Simon O with our Shining Star. Simon is still technically a rookie. He only just started in our department in November of 2021. However, in a short time here, he has proven to be a great worker with a can-do attitude. Within the first week of starting, Simon was assigned to follow the horses in the Glendora Christmas Parade to be the official pooper scooper for Corral 35. Simon accepted this challenge and did it with great enthusiasm. This past Earth Day, when Dottie Crawford needed assistance again with her horse Sarah, Simon again rose to the occasion and assisted her the entire day in the hot sun. Dottie called John personally and gave him a lot of compliments of saying, whoever raised this kid, he was polite, kind, so kind with her and just helpful. And we see that every day at the Teen Center. He worked the entire basketball season at the Teen Center, scorekeeping the Pee Wee Division games and assisting and quickly changing over the gyms for the Kinder and Little Tykes. Simon is a senior at GHS. where he once played on the golf team. He is active in his church, and lucky for us, he is staying close to home this coming fall. So we hope he still stays with us. Simon's enthusiasm and willingness to serve where needed is an asset to our department. We are excited to have him on our team, and for those reasons, we would like to award Simon O. the Shining Star.
Wow.
You get on the side. Go show all your coworkers.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you don't have to say anything.
Thank you for this Shining Star Award, and I would like to thank my parents for raising me this way. And I think Mr. Battaglia had a couple of these in his shelf. So
Probably.
I guess it runs in our street that we get these awards. Yeah.
Gotta get straight.
So thank you so much.
Oh, you got another. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, there we go.
Watch what happens live. Thank you.
The candid one.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Aw, I text your parents.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
We saw you scooping the poop, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
the kids, they said you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, moving on to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it be removed or for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to comment on item number 3? Okay, there were no requests to pull items, so we will move on. Oh, can I request a motion to approve them in one fell swoop?
Yes, so we have a motion made by Commissioner Gerber. Do we have a second? And seconded by Commissioner Chavez. So I will now conduct a roll call vote. Oops, sorry. So I will call on Commissioner Gerber.
Yes.
Commissioner Kuyumjian is absent. Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Louis Porche,
Yes.
Chair Burrell.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
There are no new member agenda items and there is no unfinished business. So we will now move on to new business and a homeless update. I'd like to invite Human Services Superintendent Debbie Lopez to report.
Good evening, Chair Burrell and Commissioners. I'm here to give you an update on our homeless activities during the pandemic. Did you want to start the slideshow? Okay, next slide, next slide. Okay, assistance during the pandemic between April 2020 and March 2022, the city operated a temporary housing program with local motels and hotels. We housed approximately 68 individuals, some for as long as from April up until March. That's how long some of them were, not all of them, but some of them. So it was a total of 6,624 nights that we paid for. 42 of those individuals were moved into Project Room Key, which was a county program. The program, they would like rent motels or lease them out. They had to be 50 beds or more, and then they would run a facility there. 5 individuals went into permanent housing. Next slide, please. The update on our grants, currently we had 3 grants, the 2 Measure H grants, they ended December 31st, and we're currently just getting all the paperwork done to wrap it up. And the other grant, the San Gabriel Valley COG grant, That's due June 15th, and we'll have that, everything has to be turned in by the end of May. So that'll be wrapped up also. Addressing quality of life concerns. During the pandemic, we've had 27 encampment cleanups from March 2020 to February 2022. 74 tons of trash and debris, 1,235 pounds of human waste, 90 pounds of needles, 30 pounds of hazardous material, and 19 propane tanks. These cleanups have been done by our contractor, Ocean Blue. They do a hazardous waste cleanup. This is all coordinated through the police department, public works, and the community services department. Next slide, please. This is just some of the encampments a couple months ago that we did in the South Hills. This is what it looked like when we tagged some of the, well, the police tag, but we go up to offer services. And then if you turn to the next slide, please, this is what it looks like after it's cleaned up. Ocean Blue does a really, really good job. Next slide, please. I'm going to go over update on the point in time count. This year, the pit count was postponed from January 25th to January 22nd. The point in time count was conducted for the first year electronically. It was a mobile app on the phone. And we have about 37 census tracts that have to be, drive up and down all the streets. So, and then the police help us with the hard to reach areas like South Hills or maybe railroad tracks or what have you. Then what will happen is LASA will gather all the numbers, and they have certain formulas they use, like if it's a tent or if it's a car or whatever. They'll turn their numbers into HUD the end of May, early June. HUD will release those figures the end of June, early July, and those will be our standing numbers. Next slide, please. This is our homeless chart. As you can see, this is from 2016 to 2020. We had relatively low 65 in 2016. It went down to 18, then 58, you can see 63. So between 2016 and 2019, we also had the winter shelters here that were in Glendora. So typically it went in December or the end of December, early January, 2 weeks at St. Dorothy's, and then 2 weeks at Glenkirk. And then, so people were here basically for a month. They'd get shipped in from whatever city they came from, and then they would spend the night here and then go back on the bus the next day. So there was no point in time count in 2021. Next slide, please. So since there was no count and our number was so high at 145, the city contracted out with CityNet. We use grant funds. The city decided to have a homeless census done by CityNet. CityNet is a nonprofit that works with unhoused population. Staff work with CityNet on the questionnaire for the survey. There were 113 unsheltered individuals identified in the city. 91 individuals agreed to participate in the survey. The typical unsheltered individual in Glendora is a white male between the ages of 35 and 44 who sleep in the city. Next slide, please. I'm just going to give you a few of the results, not read them all, but 41% of the surveyed individuals are chronically homeless or have been homeless for more than 1 year and have a permanent disability, substance abuse, or mental health concern. 82.4% of the respondents reported that they primarily sleep in Glendora, and 23% of respondents reported that their last permanent residence was in Glendora. One of the key questions that we wanted in the survey is, what's your tie to Glendora? Have you lived here? Is your mom here? Or did you just wander in here? So CityNet thought that was kind of a unique question, but a lot of people did answer that question. And of the 113, 2 of them were minors on that. Next slide, please. Our sub-regional housing program. So the program was developed and following consultations with Supervisor Barger's office and LASA. LASA proposed to implement a sub-regional homeless housing. We explored partnerships with the cities of San Dimas, Laverne, and Claremont. There would be shared responsibility, Glendora possibly up to 50 bed like bridge or interim housing. San Dimas would be an emergency shelter, Laverne an access center, and Claremont would be a permanent supportive housing. Next slide, please. What's really happened is that it's kind of been pushed to the wayside for now. There's two components of the plan that is just not working out, and there's uncertainty in some of the funding. So we're just gonna wait that part out. Next slide, please. But the other part of the sub-regional was we need to find a place for housing or shelter, whatever it is that Glendora decides to build. So on this, the top two circled is on Grand Avenue, just south of the freeway. The bottom circled is on Arrow Highway. These were previously identified where interim housing could be accommodated without zoning changes. The two sites on Grand Avenue and the one on Arrow. So on April 12th, the city council directed staff to look into both properties on Grand Avenue for housing. Staff was directed to explore alternative partnership opportunities and explore alternative property and sites. So we're going to look at those, see what the cost is, look at the land and see like what could you actually put on there, what would work and what wouldn't work. And then actually look at other properties too that may be more suitable depending on what the situation is. Next slide, please. Also at the April 12th meeting, the city council awarded contract to LA CADA. They are, it stands for Los Angeles Center for Alcohol and Drug Abuse. The contract was $250,000 a year for 2 years with a 1 year extra if we choose to accept that. We currently have, they started May 9th. We were in a big hurry, so they did it the 12th. They started the 9th. We currently, since they started, we have 2 people from Glendora that accepted respite care and one went into detox today. So they're beating the streets, and the police department have been super helpful and just taking them out. Officer Meeker is taking them everywhere. So all the hot spots, all the different places. So they're getting to know people and they have a lot of resources. They have about 14 different facilities that they have access to. And as part of our contract, we have 8 beds that we pay for. So they can get them in. So if someone says, I want to go into a shelter, they can get them in and they'll take them, they'll transport them right then. So a lot of times we have people when we're on the streets and they want to go to a shelter and we're calling every shelter everywhere and everything's full because COVID, they're at half capacity. So next slide, please. Also on April 12th, the city council approved a $100,000 contract with Union Station. And that's for 1 navigator for 1 year. And we'll have direct access to the CES and HMIS system that's run by LASA. So, and that's just pretty much street level outreach. And that'll help, with the kind of like the turn to LA CADA. Next slide, please. Okay, the community services, the recommendation is that you guys receive and file the homeless update. And also I'd like to thank the city council, city manager, assistant city manager, my boss, John Aguirre, the police department, and all the departments who work together for Glendora's Unhoused. Thank you. This concludes my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
Do you want to go first, Brittany? Or, okay. Vice Chair Lewis Porche, would you like to comment or ask questions?
Sure. First and foremost, thank you for that comprehensive report. I think I learned so many new things just in that, what you shared. But I also thought about the numbers that you shared and I compare it to other neighboring cities. And I think, wow, we're significantly under what other cities are possibly dealing with, right? And I think we've all driven downtown LA and seen what that could look like. So clearly the work is being done here. And I want to say good job to that.
Thank you.
My question, you mentioned there were 2 minors out of the 113. And as a mom, I was thinking, aren't they legally required to return if they have family?
So typically, if there's a family, we get them housed right away. So they were in one of the encampments. So I don't really know what happens with them because we're not doing enforcement. We're just doing the point in time count. But yes, so if someone comes and they have kids, we can get them in somewhere. I mean, that happens almost immediately. So a lot of times you'll see people like at the post office or over at the marketplace, it's a family and they're asking for money. Well, their chances are they may not even be homeless. They're just panhandling. So, because when we go to them and we have food and we have stuff, they don't want food. They want money. They don't want a bus pass. They want cash for gas. So that's just kind of some ways we've learned to kind of figure out what's happening. So, because I'm only 4 years into this, so.
I was just gonna say that there are families that we see in our local shopping center, like the Sam's Club area, where you see a mom and kids with a sign, and automatically I think to myself, there's got to be resources. This doesn't seem right. So
There are resources.
yeah, quite a
Especially
bit.
for a family and with
Yes,
kids, that just
right.
doesn't, and even ourselves, we could give them a motel if we had to,
Mhm.
if we couldn't place them in like Family Solutions or
Right.
somewhere like that.
Right. Okay. What would you recommend that we say to them? Like if we see them, I don't know.
To contact us. Lakata is getting brochures out and we're going to get them to everyone so that you guys have brochures. You could carry them in your car. They can call the Phaedra Center at 626-914-8234. We have what's called an intake form and we'll ask them like where they're at. Do they have kids? Do they have any health problems? Do they have a phone or where do they normally stay? What would be a good time to be able to come out and try and see what services that we could possibly offer them.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we have a website too, but we're going to update that with more information.
Commissioner Gerber?
Thank you. Excellent information. It's a very troubling conversation and a topic that we're dealing with, which unfortunately is not just us, it's throughout the nation and the world that we have, and I don't know that it's going to get any better. But the fact that we accept it, own it, and are trying to make an effort, and it sounds like from what I'm seeing, the effort has become very much more heightened and increased within the city to try and be able to participate and help these individuals get off the street. I know a majority of them don't want that help. And so it makes it even more challenging for you guys to really try and ascertain putting them places. But
Well, you have to build trust and that takes a lot of contacts and a lot of time. And sometimes they'll go into rehab and then they come right back out and then they go back in again and then they come back out. And so we've had, some success stories. So, but they're slow, not as many as we'd like, but we're trying.
everyone is to me, any one success story is monumental. So it just, again, the fact that we are very cognizant and really approaching it in the way that we are, and that what you guys are doing, I think can only be a continued benefit. It's just going to be a snowball effect. Like you said, it's going to take time. One today could be 5 next year, could be 15 in 3 years. And if we can help that many people, then we've done a lot. So
Well, if we can help them not go into homelessness in the
Yeah.
first place with prevention and diversion,
Yeah.
that's the key. Because more are coming in faster than more are going out. So if we can keep those people, above water, so to speak.
yeah, and it's hard to know who those people are, right? Without outreach and without connections and
Mhm.
whatnot. So so again, I don't have any questions other than the fact that I think you guys are doing amazing. Keep up keep forging ahead. It's not a topic that's going to go away anytime soon. So
Thank you.
Commissioner Chavez?
I think you guys have done a great job. I talked to Debbie a little bit about that, about this, I think at the dinner last dinner we were at. And she just kind of mentioned to me how she goes about talking to the actual like one-on-one contact. And we talked about certain individuals, homeless people in the city, and she right away knew who they were. And I was like, wow,
Yeah, we know most of the names,
Yeah.
the police too, they know them. That was one of the things in the survey that CityNet was impressed with, is that when they approached, the homeless weren't afraid of the police and they knew who the outreach, like me and my team, they knew who we were. So they were really impressed with that. So at least they know us. If we could just get them to go where they need to go, that would be great.
I could actually say, driving around more, I've seen it less than since we talked. And I can see a little bit of a difference where you're not seeing as much, down at the centers. But yeah, it was real visible, I think, because of the whole COVID. I don't know if a lot of the homelessness from like LA County or LA kind of flushed over this way where you see the number more than double, right in there. Right. So maybe that had a lot, of course, probably had a lot to do with it, but hey, great job. I mean, I don't know I can say that I think it takes a certain group or of people to actually do it. But
Makes a
yeah,
village.
yeah, no, for sure. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So much good information. And there's so many success stories that I feel like this didn't even capture, just like the individual stories when I talk to you or any of your staff, and it's, you know, a person that they've contacted hundreds of times and it's failed and it's failed and it's failed and it's worked. And that's what I know keeps you guys going. I applaud you for asking the question on the survey about the ties to Glendora, because I know David and I have sat here a little bit longer, and maybe 4 years ago, the conversation around the increasing homeless population in this town was that these were people coming in. The train was bringing them in. They were coming here because they thought it was a better area. And so I applaud you guys for asking that question, because it kind of shows that no, these are our community members. And I feel like since we've kind of, you guys have worked so hard to get that message out that like, no, these people are from Glendora and these are people that we grew up with and people we know and our neighbors and friends and stuff like that. The conversation and the compassion I have seen from the community regarding this issue has started to shift. And so I know that that is a difficult message sometimes to get across. And so I applaud you guys for asking that question, because I know that a lot of people don't want to know that, because then it makes it's so much easier to say, well, this isn't our problem. These people aren't from here. When it is our problem and they are from here. And so
it's not going away either.
It's not
Every
gonna go
city
away.
is experiencing the same thing we have, and it's just getting bigger.
And I feel like it was such a delayed reaction, right? It's like you guys were kind of on the cusp of it a few years ago, and now just to see how you've built this program into something that's, you know, expanding and serving so many people, even as the needs increasing, and you're still keeping up with it, is really amazing. Because other cities aren't doing that, and not every city has a Debbie Lopez, so we need to hang on to her very, very tightly. But it's much appreciated. And I'm even in the middle or the tail end or whatever we are of COVID, to see the progress that you've made even in these 2 tremendously difficult years is incredibly impressive. So kudos to you and staff and council and city manager's office and John and the whole team, because it does take a whole village. And I'm really excited that we now have 3 full-time staff members who will make those connections and build that trust and really continue to form those relationships and get everyone the help that they need. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to also iterate, you know, without Debbie leading that team, just the compassion, and I'm mainly just a sounding wall for her when, you know, she cares as much as her own kids, some of these people, and it's 7 days a week. We've tried to have her say no on weekends and had to get her a different phone because they all had her personal phone number. And we're calling her and this. So she drives around daily looking for the ones to make sure she feeds them. You know, we'll go through McDonald's and buy an extra couple sausage McMuffins and hand them out to them and check on them. And, you know, it's just that caring, and it's her entire staff, but it starts with Debbie. And she's now become the guru of the homeless or for the San Gabriel Valley and that. And it's been nice to get her some additional staff that helps. That's been really nice that LA Cotta has come on and they're helping and trying to reduce Debbie's role, that whole thing. She gets to oversee it more and not have to be out there. But they've hiked South Hills numerous times and up there looking for them and that, and trying to get them all the services that we can. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I lost my place. Okay. Yes, I would like to request a motion to receive and file the report.
Motion to.
No, I don't think we can do it on here anymore. Oh, yeah.
I'll second it.
Oh, perfect. So we have a motion made by Vice Chair Louis Borche and seconded by Commissioner Gerber. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Kayumjian is absent. Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Louis Borche,
Yes.
Chair Burrell,
Yes.
So the motion carries 4-0.
Okay, moving on to the selection of the fall 2022 activity guide cover. I would like to invite Recreation Superintendent Annie Warner to report.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. This evening, you guys will be selecting the cover for the fall 22 activity guide. We wanted to give you just some background history. Many of you know this activity guide goes out 3 times a year. We have our fall, winter, spring, and summer. It is our main publication that promotes our department, our special events, classes, anything that's really going on. And on the flip side, it is now the city manager's report. So a lot of our residents look forward to seeing it. We are one of the last cities that still does a printed tangible thing to hold, and people like getting it in the mail and looking through it and circling it. And we did it one time where we didn't print it, and it wasn't successful. People like getting something to hold. And so in thinking about our cover and moving forward, we want to make sure we're not always promoting the same thing. We always have great Halloween photos. The kids are cute, costumes are cute, but we're always having Halloween in fall. But we have the Pumpkin Festival. Right now, we're going to get to youth basketball. So as a department, we discussed internally, how can we best advertise our own self and, publicize what we want to publicize for each season, and then present you those 3 pictures. So it's kind of going to be changing, because in the past, commissioners kind of would have a wide variety. We're going to kind of gear you towards, we would like to promote Glendora Youth Basketball, because it's going to hopefully be up and running at full force this winter, but the registration will take place in fall. And so we'd really like to highlight that. So you will be seeing 3 basketball pictures. Also, our goal ideally is to always have pictures of our residents. We would prefer to have a photo we took. We don't do a great job at that. A lot of times we're in the muck of things and like planning and organizing in there. And then we're like, oh, did anyone get a good photo? And that is hard for Lindsay to work for on a activity guide. And so then we are ending up relying on a stock photo. And she is able to manipulate them. You will be seeing 3 stock photos this evening that she was able to put Glendora Youth Basketball on the jersey. We had a hard time getting good photos this past winter. A lot of kids were wearing masks. They were taking them off. The lighting's hard in a gym. So many challenges. So you will be seeing 3 stock photos, but it is our goal. And we would like to do a better job. And we think if we have a plan of what we know is coming up. So in winter, spring, after the next youth basketball, we want to then highlight Jump Fest on the cover. So they made a big attempt this past Jump Fest to be really taking a lot of pictures and purposely, trying to get that shot. And Greg has kind of re-altered or redesigned our the cover to move the, what do you want to call it? The title to the side. Thank you. So that would make it easier for us to have more photo options. Having it on the top kind of cut people off, which made it more challenging. So him altering that will hopefully make more photos, usable, so to speak. So in your staff report, we kind of have a loosey-goosey, but this evening we're going with fall for 2022 for youth basketball, winter, spring, Jump Fest. The Teen Center will be 20 years old, summer of 2023. So we thought that would be worthy to be highlighted. Fall of 2023, we would like to highlight something from the LaFetra Center. Winter, spring 2024, some kind of recreation class contract, like whatever at that time they would want to promote, but we'll have 3 classes or 3 photos of that. And then we'll keep, working forward so that we know essentially a season ahead what photos we need to work on, so we can at least present some non-stock photos is our goal. So I believe at this time we will show you the 3 photos. Let's cover A, cover B, and cover C. Next slide. A, B, and C. Do I ask them to vote? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. At this time, you will
Yeah.
be, take a moment,
Discuss.
discuss.
Okay, I'll start. I don't like B, that we can't see his face. And I think if our goal is to promote kids signing up for basketball, I feel like C does that the best. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, your 2 cents are my 2 cents as well. Although cover A would kind of challenge cover C had she been able to be a little bit more face forward. But I think, first of all, I want to, and I'll chime into this later, but I think it's great that you guys are actually pinpointing certain aspects. I think that's going to make a huge difference. But to this point, my vote would be for C as well.
I think cover A and C are both good. And, I want to say, like, what about the girls, right? Girls want to get motivated to play basketball. They'd gravitate more towards the girls. But yeah, C works. That's pretty direct. I think he's kind of there in your face, right? So it works. I would vote for C.
And I also like C. I think that one is going to be my choice. I do wonder if we could crop some of the air above his head off. If that's an option to kind of just scoot it up, it would make it seem like it would fill the picture. But I like it as is. And then you mentioned about having pictures, and I was reminded that the basketball kids and all of the other ones take photos at the beginning of the season. Was that ever a possibility that we could get one of the photos from the photographer? That's a high res photo, and it would be a Glendora resident. But I know it's too late probably for this.
For this
but
one, it would
yeah.
be too late. I could ask Greg with NSPN, who we use, if he would give us the rights to use one, and then agree if a parent was willing to do it. There are some good ones. A lot of them are
Yeah.
pretty cheesy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think so. But yep, that's my suggestion. It looks good.
Okay, so can I request a motion to approve cover C?
I request a motion to approve cover C.
Oh, we have.
Oh, I always
Let me
forget to
fix
do
this
that.
real quick. Let's do, since I had verbally Gerber first, anything you want to do second? Okay, so we have a motion made by Commissioner Gerber, seconded by Vice Chair Louis Porcher for cover C for the fall 2022 activity guide. So now I will ask for a roll call vote. Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuyumjian is absent, Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Louis Porcher,
Yes.
Chair Burrell,
Yes,
motion carries
Thank you.
4-0.
thank you. Okay, now we will discuss the cancellation of the Community Services Commission meetings for the summer 2022 season. I'd like to invite Office Assistant Megan Stone to report.
Good evening, Commissioners. Traditionally, the Community Services Commission has elected to go dark in one of the summer months. Per resolution number CC 2019-04, which states that the reorganization of each city council appointed board, commission, and committee shall occur in July of each year. If you do choose to go dark in the month of July, the reorganization of chair and vice chair will be at our August meeting. Staff is requesting the commission allows us to either go dark in August or September to accommodate any commission members pending vacation schedules. If you would like to discuss and then choose which month you'd like to go dark.
Okay, so
We're looking at, it would be
June,
August.
July, or August, or even into September?
I think we're just looking at August and September, right? That's what staff requests. Yeah, they request August or September.
But could be either or,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think we pick all of them.
And that's just
I
one
don't
month.
think we can't be all of them. It's one of them.
No, you can vote on any of them.
Yeah, you could choose any of them, but we pick one. Brittany wanting more time off.
So,
Okay, but it's always the third.
yeah,
So
so
we're
I'll
looking
be
at-
possibly gone in July during the meeting
That's
time.
the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm home then. as long as we have three of us.
Yeah, I'll be gone in July 2nd to possibly like the weekend of July 8th.
Okay, yeah, well, it's not a meeting week. It's okay. It's either
Okay,
the 16th of June,
okay.
the 21st of July, the 18th of August, or the 15th of September.
Okay.
The
Haven't we been traditionally dark in September?
I don't know. The 18th of August is the day after school starts, in case anyone that is important.
Yeah, we have, last year, I think we were in July. No, we had a meeting because I came back from vacation last year or 2 years ago. We have done August and September in the years past, depending on your schedules.
Right. I'm fine with any month, to be perfectly honest. There's no right or wrong choice. It's just a matter of when people are around and not around. I personally won't be here more than likely for the July meeting, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't still facilitate it, and I'm happy to provide votes or whatever if I need to. But August and September, like Mallory, you said, school starts
School
early
starts
again.
August 17th.
And
So
September has always been, very heavy with, kids back to school with events and whatnot. So either one of those months is fine by me.
I won't be at the June meeting, so that's on the 16th. And then the other dates, I'm fine with it, but I know school starts too. So I think we took off last year, August, because of that, because of school. So we skipped August, and
I mean, I go for August only because the second day of school sometimes is a little like,
so we all agree for sure August,
but
right?
is August,
And then
August is good?
Yeah, August is
Okay.
good.
Is August good with your staff? Yeah. Okay.
just the 1 month. Right.
We just get
Yeah.
one, Brittany.
Okay, I'm just making sure. It's like- Oh.
No,
There's
they're gonna call us part-timers.
yeah. They're gonna find
So
someone to
are we
replace
saying that we're going
us.
dark on August
Their
18th meeting?
schedule.
August 18th.
Perfect. So I'm gonna open for a motion.
Okay.
So if I can get a motion, okay. All right, so we have a motion made by Chair Burrell and seconded by Vice Chair Louis Porcher. So I will now open up the voting, as well as I will do a roll call vote. Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuyumjian is absent, Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Louis Porcher,
Yes.
Chair Burrell,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
Mothers are nothing if not efficient. Okay, now I would. No, we did that. Okay, I'd like to invite commission and staff to give closing comments. Commissioner Chavez.
Nope. It's great to be back for our meeting, and a lot of good things happening this summer. So we're looking forward to it. And if we can help in any way, we will. I will. Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Gerber.
Just had to hear my name.
I was just looking at you like, when you're gonna speak.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, great information tonight, both Debbie on regards to homeless, Annie, and although it sounds kind of not as important, but the whole calendar thing or the activity guide, I like the fact that we are really pinpointing something. I think it makes a lot of sense. It draws attention, it will draw attention to aspects of what the city is really trying to focus on when you look at pictures and of a particular event or something and promotion. I would love to, being on the Community Service Foundation, if there are events that, are happening that could be, spotlighted throughout the course of the city, that we have events that people are going to, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, whether it's seniors, those types of things resonate and bring forethought to the community as, oh, I didn't know that happened, and that might be something I might enjoy, right? So doing that, I think, is definitely of value. Other than that, again, as I had mentioned earlier, I'm looking forward to the summer. The summer is usually always the best and funnest, most fun time in the city. I don't think funnest is a word.
It's not.
The most fun time in the city. Everybody's out, although we do get the heat, but just seeing the kids about, families out, using all the parks, using all of the facilities that you guys work very hard to maintain and upkeep is what it's all about. And with the past 2 years being what they are, I can only imagine that this summer is just going to be filled with a lot of laughter and joy and just community coming back. So looking forward to that. And that's it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Louis Porche.
I second that. Third, thank you for all of the updates. Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you for the work that both of you are doing, whether it be for the community as our youth go and or the community as our residents go. I just want to say thank you to that. And yeah, happy belated Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Happy early Father's Day, as I will miss saying that next month.
Thank you.
That's it.
I would just like to Debbie and Annie and John and everyone, I applaud you guys because one thing I've noticed over our, I don't know, what are we on, year 3? It's our 3rd year now going, is just the attitude of continuous improvement within all the staff members. And when you mentioned the activity guide may seem small in the scheme of things, but it's really important. And I thought, man, everything you guys report on, it's always, yeah, that was great, but let's see how we can do it even better. And I've noticed that in Debbie's and her team's approach to homelessness and, all of the programs and the camps, and just how can we make this better for residents? How can we make it more impactful? How can we do it better? And I really applaud that, because that is, it's so easy to just kind of rest on, oh yeah, that was good. But you guys just keep working so hard to make things better than they were before. And so just want you to know that we see it and it's appreciated, and it does make a big difference. And that's all. I will see you all at all of the summer camp drop-offs in the coming months. So with that, we will adjourn our meeting at,
I have one.
oh, I'm sorry. I always forget to
just-
call on you.
Okay,
I
just
made it
one
so
quick
close.
thing. Next month, we will be coming to you guys for doing the announcements for concerts in the park. The June 26th, Mayor Davis will be doing that, but we have all the July and the one in August. So we'll be bringing that on Sundays, starting July 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, and then August 7th. You can see when you're in, and we would get you the script and have you do the announcements before the concerts.
Any other staff announcements? This is 2 months in a row. I've almost missed you. Okay. Now I would like to adjourn the meeting at 7:50.